Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Everyday Carry Cast. My name is Samuel,
Dwayne Freeman here.
and today we're going to be checking out 5 of our favorite knives from our collection.
Did you say knives?
What is that?
Well, it's a knife, right?
I meant like pocket knives.
Oh, okay.
So today we're going to be checking out the 5 favorite knives from our collection. Freeman's going to get us started off, and we're going to just talk about, kind of run through them quick, which ones we like the most, and how they rank from number 5 to number 1, with maybe an honorable mention in there too. So start us off.
Yes, I will. So basically, I based my top 5 knives on the ones I carry the most, and the ones that obviously feel the best in my hand, fit good in the pocket. And I'm a budget knife guy. I don't want to spend a lot of money on knives because I've lost a few. And so if I have a knife, I want it to be affordable, feels good, looks good.
Yeah.
So my first choice is our CRKT BT Fighter.
Yeah.
So what I like about this blade is, well, one, I'm a martial artist. So when it says BT Fighter, so I'm thinking it's a fighter knife. Multiple ways to deploy. You got flipper tab. It is a button lock. You can also use the thumb studs, and I hate thumb studs, but this one just works. And also like this big pocket clip. Some people think that's ugly. I don't like that, but I like the way it fits in the pocket. And I do have a lanyard so I can get it out of the pocket real quick. This is a cheap knife. Paid about $45 for it. It's 8CR 13 MOV steel and FRN handle. So pretty cheap, affordable. If I lost it, I wouldn't mind, but at the same time, great fidget knife.
Yeah, I really like the BT Fighter. I've never owned one. I think last time we went into the shop, or I went into the shop, Sean had the big one, but he didn't have any more of the little ones. I really like the little ones. They're about the perfect size. It's just, you mentioned that pocket clip. I don't love the pocket clip, but it is a pretty great fidget knife.
And if you look real close, it almost looks like they put some an inlay of carbon fiber. You see it on the handle?
Yeah, it's probably that like an overlay in the G10. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Or the way they milled it one. Yeah, this knife is
super fidgety.
Pretty sweet. I actually don't have a button lock on my list. I don't know that I own a button lock right now. So that's pretty sweet. So number 5 is your BT Fighter, huh?
Yes.
All right. Well, for me, number 5 is one that I recently bought. And for it to already be in my favorites is pretty impressive. But this is the Benchmade Tagged Out. So this is one of their newer releases in their lineup. It came out along with they had a couple outs. The Tagged Out, the Readout, and a couple more. I actually went into a shop, bought the Readout, and got out of the car, and my fiance pointed at the blade. She was like, "Is that a huge chip?" And I said, "Yeah, it is." I guess when Benchmade was sharpening, they had a problem and put a huge chip in the blade, and it made it through quality control and all that. But I was like, "Oh man!" So I went back, switched it out, and this was the one I didn't want. I didn't think I'd like it, but the more I've carried it, the more I've really started to like it. It is I think it's an 8 some inch overall knife, 3.5 inch blade, CPM 154. So not 154 cm, but the powder version of 154 cm. So it's probably around S30V in edge retention, and it's really sweet. It's kind of a bigger version of the bug out, made specifically for hunting, and man, I really like it. It only weighs 2.1 ounces. So the bug out weighs 1.8 ounces. That one's 2.1. So I'm really impressed with that one. That blade shape is sweet. I really like the cutout. They did a good job of chamfering it. It's really sweet.
I prefer that cutout more than I do a thumb stud.
Yeah.
I really like my bug out, but again, thumb studs, I'm not a fan of it, but it is easy to flip.
Yeah. And with those axis lock knives, the flick is a little weird to get used to, but once you get used to it, that thing is pretty sweet. I like it a lot.
Yes, it is.
And actually, it's more affordable. It was only, I think they retail for like $180, but I picked it up for a lot cheaper than that because the guy had it
I do
at a
like the
pretty low price.
smaller pocket clips that bug outs and
Yeah,
Benchmade's
too.
have.
And that one's angled, so it sits in the pocket pretty well. I like it. So that's my number 5, is the Benchmade Tagged Out. So we can put them right here if you want, or whatever you want to do. Might get full pretty fast, but there's my number 5.
Okay, number 4. Will not surprise you.
Probably not.
Obviously, it's going to be a Civivi.
So I was just talking to you last night about that. I said that if I had a baby banter in my collection, it probably would have made it onto the list.
Yes.
But the more I looked, I got all of them together last night, and actually, it probably would have been my honorable mention, but I don't think it would have been on the list.
Well, the reason, obviously, it's on my list because I carry it every single day. It's my backup for my backup. I've probably opened more things, more packages with this knife than any other knife I own. It's the Civivi Baby Banter. It only weighs 2 ounces. It's a tiny knife. I don't know how long it is. Do you happen to know the length?
I think it's under 6 inches.
Yes.
They're really, really great, really compact.
G10 handle. What's the steel? Nitro V steel.
Yeah.
Love the pocket clip. It's not the typical Civivi pocket clip that's just ugly metal. I actually like the looks of it.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it weighs nothing, 2 ounces. I put it in my 5th pocket, carry it every day. Now, I'm going to say this for the 3rd time. I don't like thumb studs. But it's almost impossible to fail this knife. You just, boom, hit it with the thumb, and there it is. Greatest fidget knife I've got. Love it.
Pretty sweet. And actually, now that you bring out the baby banter, this would be a good time to show you what I just got in the mail. So Ben Peterson, who is the designer of the Wii banter, and also just got announced the Big Banter, I think,
Banter,
and a
saw
couple
it
others.
last night. Saw the video.
And he released these, and I had to get them. They are called Wii Banter scales. They look like Wii remotes, and they're awesome. And you see how the lanyard is a Wii strap that for the wrist.
Oh yeah,
So cool.
Gotta
Oh hey,
have it.
hold
Did
on.
they make
Let me
that
go
for
grab the Wii
Baby
remote.
Banter? There's one right there.
So, this is, of course, what it's based after, the Wii remote. And that is so cool. Here, hold it up there.
Yeah, it is.
That is awesome.
Will they make this for the Baby Banter? I hope so.
It wouldn't shock me.
Because I want a set.
But that is only one of 300, I think they made.
That is so cool.
So, I was at work, and Allie actually grabbed it for me. So, they are awesome. And they say NAS right there instead of Nintendo. And the best part, came with a patch. Pretty sweet, ain't it?
Nice.
I've got a banter at the house. Put on. But yeah, there you go. So your number 4 is the baby banter.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. Well, my number 4 is, this one's from Oknife. It's the Beagle. So funny story about this. Voice crack. I got rid of this to our local dealer, Sean at SCB, who, by the way, supplies a lot of the knives for these videos and for my channel, EDCNC. Great guy. Go check him out if you're ever out that way in Thomasville. SCB Guns and Ammo. But I traded this to him for something, and I was like, I want that back. And so as of yesterday, the other day, Freeman went and picked it up for me, and so I got it back from him yesterday, but I really missed this knife. 154 cm steel, harpoon blade shape. It is from Oknife, which is the designer or the makers of O-Light. They started a little bit of a knife brand, and they have teamed up with Kizer for the production. And what you're going to see a lot, probably, is that I really like Kizer. But it's a thumb stud deployer. That harpoon blade shape, man, is gorgeous. That's what really drew me to that knife. And then the action, deployment, all that stuff is, it's just a pretty great all-around knife.
You know, I watched a video on the Oknife, and the person that was doing the video on YouTube just said, if it's O-Light, they should just stick with flashlights and should not venture into the knife world. But I disagree.
Yeah,
it's a reputable company, a lot of money. They can, they have the materials. So
I think
go
it's
for it.
A really smart choice for them to get Kizer to do the production for them too. Because we've got companies now like Tactile Turn. They make tactile knives, and they're amazing. But they're on a different level. They do their own machining. They do all that with more of these overseas companies that, do a lot of their I guess it's more machine work than it is actual a man working a machine. For them to actually go to somebody who knows what they're doing, really, I think is what made it a lot better of a choice for them to actually do knives. So I really like it. So Oknife Beagle is my number. What is that? Number 4.
My number 3. So I'm not much of a fan of Spyderco. Everybody gasp. You know, the Spyderco is like the Glock. It's been there for years. They're reputable. They are good materials. They are high quality, and they work. But just like a Glock, they're ugly.
That's a really good point. I've never thought of that. That's
They have
great.
a humpback. They have a giant hole. You know, I have a couple of Delicas. I love them, but when I saw this Spyderco, it looks different, feels different. It is different.
It's still ugly, but it's really cool.
No, that's
ugly.
pretty right there. That's a pretty Spyderco. So this is the Ikuchi, and as soon as I saw this, I was like, no, that's a Spyderco I would like to carry. This is my church knife. I carry it every Sunday when I go to church. It's my gentleman's knife. You know, it's real thin, beautiful wire, pocket clip. It looks great in the pocket, and hands-free because you don't have to get your fingers in the way with that compression lock. So, cool knife, G10 scales, and the blade steel is S30V.
Yeah, I really like it. And so, a little rant real quick. Everybody likes to crap on Benchmade and Spyderco because they're still using S30V. And but then they'll flip their lid when somebody releases something in S35V and be like, "Oh my goodness, okay, I get it. I'm a little bit of a steel snob too. I like for certain things to be in certain steels. But if you're excited about Benchmade release, well, maybe I shouldn't say this. If you're excited about Benchmade releasing this in 154 or CPM 154, and you're not okay with S30V, unless you're actually someone who uses it, sharpens it all the time, wants that powder steel, I don't want to hear it. S30V is still a great steel. You know, like 10 years ago, if you bought a knife with S30V, you were like, yeah, this is rocking. But yeah, the Ikuchi is a really cool knife.
And I love, you know, it's not just a regular flipper tab. It's got this little roller on there, and it's super comfortable.
Right.
You know, you don't want to use your fingernail, which I found that out because I broke the tip of my fingernail off. You definitely want to use your pad of your finger and just pull, and it's so smooth. So it takes some time to get used to, but I love the slim profile. Again, I don't like the big hump back on the normal Spydercos.
Have you ever seen the Lynch Northwest clips that go on with the? Because I personally like the wire pocket clip, but Lynch Northwest, I have one at the house. It's blue. It's a pocket clip that goes in the slot where the wire pocket clip is. And have you ever seen the Lynch Northwest clips?
I have not.
They're pretty sweet. They like it, you know, a lot of your Spydercos, like your Delicas, they won't come with a deep carry. Well, yeah,
Right.
That MXG clip you had on your Delica,
Right,
that
I
I
did.
have now,
Right.
that's the kind of clip, and they make them for those knives, so they're pretty sweet. So that's your number 3.
Number 3, I carry it a lot, but again, I don't want to use it. I like it in the pocket because it's pretty.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. All right, so up next, my number 3 is my favorite budget knife. If you watch my channel, you know that one of my latest videos, as of recording this, was on the Vosteed Nightshade LT. And that's what my number 3 is. I didn't clean the blade off, but oh well. This is my favorite budget knife. Also, now, again, I didn't let it affect my review or anything, but this was the first knife that a company sent me, reached out, and sent to me for review for free, and that tickled me to death.
Yeah, that's neat.
But this knife overall is just, oh, it's so great. The recurve blade, it's almost like a kukri style blade. G10 handles, the access to the liner lock, which is something a lot of manufacturers get wrong. We were talking about the Wii Banter earlier. The original Banter, I love the knife, but I hate the access to the lock bar. On this knife, they've done a really good job with that. Good materials, good overall price, and you could get them on discounts all day for, I think, $69.
I will be getting one of these. That is a good-looking knife. I did see your video on it, and it's just a matter of me finding where one's at.
You have to go to their website and order it.
Okay.
But you can go use my code,
There you go.
There you go. And if you want the pry bar with it, I think it's like $20 off the whole bundle. If you use my code, you can get that in the pry bar.
Did it come that drop shut from the...
Pretty close, yeah, I think. And the crazy thing is no blade play, centered well. I really like this knife. Just 154 CM might be my favorite budget steel. I really like it. Nitro V is pretty great, but 154 CM, 14C 28N, somewhere around in there, but I really like it. Really good knife, really awesome, great ergonomics, great size. And as wide as the knife is, it really doesn't sit in pocket poorly. It sits really well. They did a really good job on this. I like it. Quick break.
Yes.
What are you carrying in your pocket today?
Oh, let's see. Well, I changed pants, so it's downstairs.
Oh.
But I was carrying my new Sencut.
Ah, sweet. Which one is that? The Scepter?
Scepter. Yes.
Sweet. I'm carrying the, speaking of Spyderco, the Lil Native. Sweet little S30V compression lock from them. Really great. It's like, I think I like the Baby Banter more, honestly. But great little knife. I don't know if you've checked that one out or not since I've had it.
I don't think I have.
Yeah.
No,
Pretty sweet.
This is not our honorable mention. Let's
There
keep
you
going.
go. All right, so your number 2.
And the reason why I just said the Sencut is pretty much it's obviously a budget knife that I use a lot, and if I lose it, who cares? But the reason I like that Sencut so much is because it was copied after this knife, the Civivi Riffle.
Did you find your other one?
So this is my third riffle. I have lost one, and I'm still crying about that. But that just goes to show how much I love this knife. I have used this knife and carried this knife more than any knife ever that I've ever owned. The Civivi Riffle. This one is Micarta, and I love this huge cutout. I added a lanyard again just so I can get quick deployment out of the pocket. But I also have my more expensive riffle. It's carbon fiber, Damascus steel, titanium clip. So, this was my $100 Civivi riffle. And this one is, $65. It's 14C 28N steel. And just check this out. You can open it, obviously, with flipper. It's just so smooth. You got the middle finger. And then I've come up with all kinds of weird ways. You can even use your index finger. And, you can slow roll the thumb. So if you want to get it out quiet, or you can just fast flip the thumb. And name a few knives you can do this to.
Spyderco's about the only one.
Right, you see.
Right.
And you can even do it upside down, flick it, and you got a reverse grip. So, 6 or 7 different ways to get the blade. It's just, I love it.
I really like the riffle. The big problem I have with it, though?
There is none. So what would it be?
Access to the lock bar, just like I was talking about. I just wish there was more of a cutout there to get to the liner lock. But that's it. I really like these knives. I had one myself, customized it, and then sold it to Freeman.
And that's the one I lost.
Yeah.
So I had to go buy another one.
But yeah, the riffle's a great knife. One thing I really like about the riffle is that lanyard bar on the back instead of a lanyard hole. It makes me so mad whenever companies put a pocket clip on their knife, and Spyderco is the worst about it. Putting a lanyard hole in the way of the pocket clip, it aggravates me so much. But they did. Civivi done a really good job with that.
I don't have a problem with that liner lock that you're talking about, so it might just be your giant meat hands.
Could be. I do have giant meat
I've
hands.
done this thousands of times, and this is my absolute favorite knife.
Got them sausage fingers. All right.
Can't beat a riffle.
Sweet. Number 2. My number 2 is one of the knives that I carry. You talk about that being your suit knife. I'm trying to think. This might be the knife that I carried. I was a pallbearer in a funeral recently, and I think this was the knife I carried. This is the Kizer Gemini in S35VN, titanium pocket clip, and carbon fiber scales. This is... I actually started on the Gemini platform with the titanium version. Somebody was selling one for a really cheap price because it was really beat up. And now I think that's under the seat of my car, by the way. It fell down in there, and I haven't gotten it out yet. But it was beat all to crap.
Abyss.
The abyss. I got it out. or I got it from him, used the snot out of it, and really like it. Just carried it to work, didn't care what I did with it because of how beat up it was. And again, SCB, Sean, had one of these, and I wanted it, went and got it. And it is, oh, it's such a great knife. Designed by Ray Laconico. Like I said, S35VN steel. Smooth. Has a little bit of a weak detent, but I had another one. And it was actually, it had a really good detent on it. So I think that it's just that one. But yeah, love that knife. Really lightweight. The titanium pocket clip. That's something that.
Did you add that, or was it?
It came like
It
that.
came like that. Okay, nice.
A lot of the nicer Kizers, or like even it's kind of similar to this one. It's a milled titanium pocket clip.
Right.
And I love it. I didn't used to like any kind of pocket clip that wasn't deep carry until I got that and the last knife I'll talk about. And I really like them.
Flipper only. That's rare for you.
Ray Laconico has some really kind of, I don't know what you call it, really simple designs, really bland, but they work great. They're beautiful. Just, I really like them.
Yeah, that's nice.
So that is my number 2.
All right, before we go to number 1, we agreed that we was going to have one honorable mention. My honorable mention, and I'll tell you why it's not number 1, is my Demko AD 20 or 20, whatever they call them. Demko knives, I'm sure you already know. Shark lock, one of the strongest locks ever. Added my little lanyard. I do like lanyards. Got a little skull on there. Pretty cool. Again, multiple ways to deploy. So that's another reason why I really like this knife. And it's weird, but the number 1 reason why this is not my favorite knife is because I have cut myself with this knife more than any knife I own. I mean,
but shouldn't that put it higher?
It should, but he's hurt me so many times. But man,
Oh, you talk like it's the knife's fault.
it is.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Here's why. Watch this. It won't see that little snap.
Yeah, I had that problem when I had one.
Yep. So sometimes my finger's in the way and that thing will snap. And man, I've bled more from this knife than any other knife. Now, G10 scale's not that good and not a deep pocket carry clip.
FRN, those are like the real
That's
plastic
FRN?
steel. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
GFN, whichever one.
And so I know I can upgrade that. I could get some titanium pocket clip, make it look better. But then it would be too expensive and I wouldn't want to carry it. So, yeah. Good knife, but boy, it'll hurt you.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the 80 20.5s. I think I only had one. But yeah, that was, especially when I first got it, that kind of catch it would have right there where it would snap back and get you. Yeah, that was scary. But I really like it.
I do
80
love that
25
shark
is a good
foot
knife.
blade too.
Pretty sweet.
Really cool.
One thing that really, which I get it for the price, but the AUS 10A, which is like
Yes, it is.
AUS 10 is kind of, I don't know where you'd place it, but for the price of the knife, a little over, it was $150. You'd think they could have done a little bit better, but yeah. Again, that's just steel snobbery. My honorable mention is the Spyderco Spydie Chef. You want to talk about a nice knife that I've used the snot out of? This is it. This knife is LC200N, which people say it's not rust proof. This knife is practically rust proof. LC200N, titanium scales. This is the KnifeJoy exclusive, so it's blue. Black hardware, black pocket clip. Really love this knife. It has served me very well on beach trips when you have no knives to cut to cook food. I love to cook while I'm at the beach. And so that thing has seen some wear and tear. And I haven't had to sharpen it yet. I've stropped it many times, but haven't had to sharpen it yet. LC200N is going to have edge retention probably around S30V, S35VN, somewhere in there. And used to be we had H1, which was like butter. It was terrible. Didn't cut well, or didn't hold an edge for a long time. But that knife there really changed the game with the LC200N. I know it wasn't the first to do it, but I love it. Works great on a chopping board, especially if that's the only thing you have. So my honorable mention is the Spydie Chef.
And was this knife designed, obviously, it says chef, so for food prep?
Yes,
Just
exactly.
because of the big belly, and you can easily roll and chop. So, yeah.
Yep.
But make a good EDC also, though.
Oh yeah, it makes a great EDC, and the thinness of it is what makes it such a great everyday carry knife. Ergonomics are good too. It's really great. It's got that glassy action people talk about, kind of like on Sabenzas, where
Yep.
it just kind of like its own glass. So really like it. That's my honorable mention. So hit us with number one.
Down to number one. Well, again, I am a budget knife guy. You can see my knives here, $50 to $100 range. I don't like spending a lot of money on them because, again, if I lose it, I cry about it. This is my most expensive knife. I had the honor, man, and privilege to go to the 2022 Blade Show in Atlanta, Georgia this year.
Lucky.
And, man, it was great. And I said, you know what? I want to buy something expensive. I want something nice. I want something to commemorate my trip. And my name is Dwayne Freeman. So I'm walking around the place and I see Freeman knives. And I go up to them and talk to them. And I said, well, this knife has literally got my name on it. So I had to buy it. The Freeman knives, I think they call this the 451. It is a button lock. It is all titanium. And the blade steel, the big talk at knife show this year was this MagnaCut. Everybody wanted MagnaCut. That was the steel of the year. So it is a big honking thing.
I didn't know that was MagnaCut.
It is.
Oh, that's sweet.
It's a big honking thing. I haven't weighed it. It's probably close to a pound. But you talk about...
Man, that is...
You can middle finger flick it, but it weighs so much. And
boy, that's awesome.
I met the man. I think his name's Jeff Freeman. And
Any relation?
I said, hey, man, we might be cousins or something. And he said, they were selling these knives for, I think, $400. And I said, well, I got a 3-day event. I'll check you on the last day. And I went back on Sunday, and guess how many they had left?
1.
They had 3 left. And I said, that's it.
That is awesome.
So, yeah. And this knife I will never sell. I will probably never carry it because it's just pretty and heavy, and I want it again to commemorate my trip. But also, this is this knife is one that will be carried on to my children, my the grandchildren, and things like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's my number one.
Sweet.
And now it's going back in the bag. I'm never going to pull it out again.
So my number one is one that I probably bought it a few months ago, and had my eye on it. Had Sean order me one, and boy, I'm glad I did too. Another Kizer. 3 of the knives on this list were manufactured by Kizer.
Civivi.
Yeah. We'll have that discussion later. This is a Kizer T1 in titanium. So this is this isn't the original model. It doesn't have the flowery pivot, but man, the Kizer T1. I'm a thumb stud guy. As you can see, well, actually, no, not as you can see by the list. I think you have just as many thumb studs as I do. But 3, and this has a cutout. So, really love thumb studs. I really love the snappy action it gives you. And this is an amazing thumb stud knife. It is all titanium.
I'll be the judge of that.
Milled titanium pocket clip. The back spacer is titanium. S35V steel. Love it. The action is smooth. That is my knife that I carry all the time to nicer occasions. I don't carry that to work. That's more like my nicer knife. And I remember when I put like my first snail trail on the titanium, I was like, ugh. And then the more I carry it, the more snail trails it gets, the more I like it, or the more I'm going to like it. Yeah. So, love that knife. Great knife. That one I had my eye on for a while. I think I did some trading. I don't think I outright bought it from him.
And when you just look at it, it's
very bland, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not that attractive, but yet it's a great knife.
Oh yeah, I love it to death.
That is great.
And they have a Vanguard version, which is about $75. That's $175.
I do have. I love Kizers. I have about 3 or 4 Kizers, so I'm a fan.
But the Vanguard version is 154 CM in Micarta, and it's really sweet. And I'll probably be picking one of those up before too long. But that's my 5.
Nice.
Really big contrast between the two. Yours are more all over the place and like all kinds of different knives than yours. Mine are kind of bland, kind of normal. I didn't.
Yeah, they all
expect
about
that.
the same size, about the the same aesthetically. All of
Yeah.
them are.
Well, that's pretty cool. Well, this was our first attempt at a podcast. Hopefully, we'll keep doing it. Maybe we can get it to you weekly. You know, we're both very busy, so we'll see. But
Hope so.
we really appreciate you clicking on the video and checking us out. If you liked it, please like, comment, subscribe, all those wonderful things. Stick around, help us grow. And anything you have to add?
No, I don't. Appreciate you having me. It was
yeah.
a fun time. Let's do it again.
Let's do it again. Well, if you enjoyed that video, hope you enjoyed that video. Have a great day.
God bless.
There we go.
See you later.
All right.
That's fun.